This is a young emperor's robe. The symbol of an emperor is a dragon, and you will find on this robe many dragons. A dragon is very beloved in China for many reasons, but one of the reasons a dragon is especially loved is that dragons bring rain. A dragon has a favorite possession, and this possession is his pearl, or little round pearl that has magical powers. It makes anything it comes into contact with increase and multiply. And if you look on this robe, you'll find round pearls in blue and white with a little orange in the center and flames coming out. You'll see those flames are orange in these pearls, and those show the power of the dragon's pearl. If you walk around in the ceramics gallery, you can hunt for dragon's pearls. You'll usually find them just off the noses of the dragons. Long, long ago in China, there lived a young boy and his mother. The mother was too old to go out to work, so the boy's job was to cut grasses and carry them on his shoulder to the marketplace and trade the grasses. People would buy that grass for their animals to eat, and he would get some rice, so he and his mother would have dinner together. Now, the mother may have been too old to go out and work, but she was not too old to tell stories. She told the most wonderful stories. She told stories of dragons and how dragons brought rain so people could grow crops and have plenty of food to eat. And she told stories of dragons' pearls and how everything they touched would increase and multiply, and how dragons would play with their pearls and fight over their pearls. Every day, the boy would come back from the marketplace and say, "Oh, people in the village, they just say how fortunate we are. We have a wonderful dragon who brings us rain, so we all have plenty to eat." One day, in this little village on the banks of the River Min, the rain stopped. It stopped for days, it stopped for weeks, and it stopped for months. And soon the ground was hard and dry, and nothing would grow. And when it came time for bedtime stories, the boy would say, "Mother, Mother, what can we do? Everyone in the marketplace says that we've lost our dragon. How can we bring a dragon back? How can we get the rain?" And he and his mother couldn't think of a way, but they so much wanted to help. Every day, the boy had to go farther and farther from his home to find grass because nothing would grow on that hard, dry earth. One day, the boy was climbing up the side of a mountain, and he came upon the most beautiful, green, tall, strong grasses he had ever seen. He was so excited, he cut them down, he put them on his back, he ran to the marketplace, and oh, he got more than he normally got. He got rice and vegetables, and he and his mother had a wonderful dinner that night. Well, the next day, when the boy went to find grasses, he was climbing far from home up that mountain, wondering, where will I find grasses today? And when he came to the place where he had been the day before, there was that beautiful patch of grass grown up just as green, just as strong as the day before. This must be a magical patch of grass. I know, I don't have to walk so far every day and be so tired every day. Why, I can dig this patch of grass up by the roots, and if it is magic, well, it will grow just as well by my cottage. And the boy carefully dug up the grass and pulled it out and put it on his shoulder, and the roots and the dirt were glowing. And when he looked carefully inside and he reached with his fingers, he pulled out a beautiful, glowing pink pearl. He clasped it in his hand, and he ran as fast as he could home, and he put the grasses on the ground and ran to the kitchen and showed his mother, "Mother, look, I found a beautiful pearl." "Oh, son, this will fetch us the most money we have ever seen in all of our lives. Let's put it in our rice jar for safekeeping." They took it and they put it in their rice jar overnight. Now, in the bottom of the jar, there was only about 1 inch of rice. They buried it in that rice, and the mother put the lid on, and the boy went out to dig and plant his magic patch of grass. It was such hard work because the ground was so dry with no rain, and he dug and he worked, and he got it finally planted. And he went up to bed and said, "Mother, no dragon stories tonight. I'm just too tired." He went to bed. And when he woke up in the morning, he ran out as fast as he could to see how his magical patch of grass was doing. And the grass had withered and died. It was brown on the ground because there was no water to nourish it. The boy began to cry, "Now what have I done? I could have left that grass on the mountain. I would have had something for my mother and for me to eat." But from the kitchen, he heard a scream, and he ran in, and there was his mother standing over the rice jar, and the rice had filled to the brim, and on the top was that beautiful pink pearl winking at them, glowing. The mother said, "It must be a magic pearl. Let's try it in our oil." So they took the pearl and they put it in the oil container, and they went away, and the next day filled to the top with the best quality oil. "I know," said the boy, "let's try it in our money box." There were only a couple cheap little coins in the bottom of that money box, but they put the pearl in, and they went to sleep, and the following morning, well, gold coins were overflowing that box, and the pink pearl was glowing on top. Well, they realized they had a magic pearl. They hid it away carefully, and they used their new good fortune well and wisely. They made sure that they had enough, and that all of their neighbors and everyone in the community had enough. Even though there was a drought, even though there was no rain, they could buy food to feed everyone. People began to wonder how their fortunes had changed and how they were able to help so much. And the boy and his mother were simple people, and they told the truth about their pearl. Now, in this world, there are good people, and there are some people who are greedy people. And those greedy people want whatever anyone else has, they want it for themselves. And when those greedy people heard about the pearl, they went to the hut where the boy and his mother were living, and they banged on the door. The boy and his mother didn't want to let them in, but they were afraid not to, so they opened the door. "Show us your pearl." The boy and his mother didn't want to, but they were afraid not to. So they reached and they got the pearl from the hiding place, and the boy was holding it in his hand. And the men were leaning in on it, and the boy realized one of them was about to snatch that pearl. He didn't want that pearl to fall into greedy hands, and without thinking, he went like this. And he swallowed that pearl. It burned his throat. It burned all the way down. It burned like a ball of fire in his stomach. And the boy ran to the table, and he drank all the water from the water jug, and he drank all the water from the teapot, and he was still on fire inside, and he ran out to the well. There was not a lot of buckets to be pulled up because of the drought, but he drank every last drop in the well. By now, neighbors were coming out and surrounding him, and his mother and the greedy people were following, and he ran as fast as he could to the banks of the River Min. The boy was on fire, and he began to scoop up and drink as fast as he could all the remaining water in the river. The neighbors were horrified, and suddenly, huge bursts of thunder came from the sky, cracks of lightning came down, and rain started to fall, heaviest rain anyone had ever seen, and began to fill the River Min. And the boy, he burst from his shirt, the buttons popped, the fabric burst, and the boy's shoulders became green and covered with scales and huge, and his fingers grew to claws, and his nose grew into a long snout, and smoke came from his nostrils, and he grew a long tail, and his mother grabbed onto his leg. My son, my son. She could feel in her hands the green scales on his growing leg. My son, he's turning into a dragon. It's the pearl that has done this to him. And the boy knew he has turned into the dragon, and that it is his destiny to get into the River Min and to bring rain to every village along that river. And so he gently pries his mother's hands from his leg and sets her carefully on the bank of the river and begins to swim down the River Min. And every time she calls, my son, he turns to look at her, and his huge dragon shoulder digs mud out of the mud bank, making that river even bigger, even wider, so more rain could fill it to help the people. And when the boy came around the very last bend and he turned to say goodbye to his mother, he opened his big dragon jaws, and all that came out was the roar of thunder. And then he was gone. Now it is said that even today, when people stand on the banks of the River Min and they hear the rain falling and the roar of thunder, they remember with gratitude the great sacrifice made for them by the dragon boy and his mother.